On today's show, the Yankees are facing the Astros in the American League Championship Series again. We'll discuss the roster, which came out late this morning. I'll share my thoughts about this matchup. Maybe the third time could be the charm. As in the third ALCS. I know it's the fourth time they faced each other in the playoffs. And we'll preview tonight's game and the pitching matchup between Jameson, Taillon, and Justin Verlander. So get ready, because an all-new Locked On Yankees starts next.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Wednesday, Yankee fans. Are we ready for tonight? I'm sort of ready for tonight. Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Stacey, and I'd like to thank you for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. We're free and available on all platforms, including Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, and Stitcher. You can watch and subscribe to us on YouTube. Also, hit the thumbs up button to like our videos and the bell so you're notified as soon as our videos go live. In case you missed it, I did do a post-game show last night. Took a little while for YouTube to kick in. Took an hour and a half to process an 18-minute video. So if you didn't get to see it on YouTube, I apologize. But it was up pretty quickly. The audio version was up pretty quickly. So we got to celebrate the Yankees winning the division series. And then there was no preparation for this. Now they're in Houston and they're playing tonight. 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central. Right back into it. And I feel like this might put the Yankees at a bit of an advantage in a way, mainly because they've been playing the past few days, where Houston swept their series and has been resting the past few days. And as we've seen with other series, the bye didn't really help. The bye helped Houston, though, against the Mariners, because they swept them. But I don't know. I feel like the Yankees might actually be okay heading into Houston. All the Yankees have to do is split. Just win one game. Even if you don't win tonight, win tomorrow night. If you go back to New York with a split, and then you have Cole and Cortez for the home games, you're playing with house money at that point. So, yeah, just win one out of the first two. Just one. So the roster came out this morning, and some of us were very happy about it because Oswald Peraza is on it. The Yankees did it. The Yankees listened to us. The Yankees finally realized that IKF can't play shortstop and they need to put someone else in there. So, Bader, Cabrera, Carpenter, Donaldson, Higashioka, Judge, Kiner, Falefa, Locastro, Peraza, Rizzo, Stanton, Torres, Trevino. Those are the position players, 13 of them. 13 pitchers, Miguel Castro, Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, Domingo Germán, Clay Holmes, Jonathan Loaizaga, Frankie Montas, Wandy Peralta, Clark Schmidt, Luis Severino, Jameson, Taillon, Lou Trevino, and Greg Weissert. You will notice that. DJ LeMahieu, Andrew Benintendi, Ron Marinaccio, not on the roster. DJ LeMahieu is not healthy enough to be on the roster. I don't believe they think that Ron Marinaccio is healthy enough, even though he said he would like to be called up to be used on the roster. And if you notice, Lucas Luetge is not on the roster. I thought that was interesting. I don't think that anything is wrong with him. I just think they decided to go a different way this time around. So I like it. I'm shocked that they put Peraza on the roster and that they listened to us in our bitching and moaning about it. But I think they realized after Saturday's game that they needed someone a little more steady to play shortstop. And with Aaron Hicks being out now because that injury wiped out his postseason last night, they need someone to play left. And they could put Oswaldo Cabrera out there. They could also keep him at shortstop and have Peraza. They can switch them off. They could put Stanton in the outfield. I almost feel like they should put Stanton in left in Houston and then have Cabrera play left in New York. I feel like they need Stanton's bat in the lineup no matter what. He could DH, of course, but I feel like he could possibly hit better if he plays in the outfield. But we'll see what happens. I don't think there's a lineup out yet. Actually, let me double check that because it is almost 3:00. I waited a little bit to record this just because I wanted to make sure that I had as much information about tonight's game as possible. So let me just double check this on our trusty phone. Nope, the last thing that the Yankees tweeted out was the roster. And I have to say, I was laughing watching the post-game celebrations last night, and there were some videos I didn't get to see on TV that they put on Instagram and on Twitter and on different places. And there was one video where Harrison Bader and Anthony Rizzo, I don't know. It was an odd video. It was a funny video, but it was odd. And I think that Giancarlo Stanton shouldn't have to wear a uniform top. That's all I'm saying. Look at the videos from last night. Look at the pictures from last night. Just, you'll agree with me. No matter who you are, who you're married to, who you're dating, you will agree with me that Giancarlo Stanton shouldn't have to wear a shirt. I'm just saying. Anyway. So the Yankees in Houston tonight, playing against the Astros again in the ALCS for the third time. 2017, we all know what happened. 2019, we all know what happened. Will it be different in 2022? Will it be different because it's an even year? Will it be different because it's the third time? Will it be different because everyone's expecting the Yankees to lose? Possibly. Possibly. Here's my thought before I get into deep thoughts about this series. Can the Yankees beat the Astros? Yes, anyone can beat the Astros. We've seen it so far this playoff run. Who expected the Phillies to beat the Cardinals? No one. I don't think Phillies fans even expected it. And not the way that they beat them. Not in 2 out of 3 games. And handily. They just really, after that 9th inning in that first game, St. Louis couldn't come back from that. And the Padres beating the Mets wasn't that surprising. But the Padres beating the Dodgers the way that they did, surprising. And I think this might actually bode well for the Yankees, possibly, and we'll discuss that in a moment. But first, guys, do you find dress shirts annoying? I don't know what it's like to wear dress shirts, obviously, but I'm sure that it's kind of annoying to have to wear them all day and not feel comfortable. They might feel too stiff. You might feel like you sweat too much in them, and it's just uncomfortable. And the dress shirt was due for a radical reinvention, and Rhone stepped up to that challenge. Rhone's commuter shirt is the most comfortable, breathable, and flexible shirt known to man, and here's why. It has 4-way stretch fabric. It provides breathability and flexibility to leave you free to enjoy what life throws your way. From your commute to work to your 18 holes of golf, it's time to feel confident with a wrinkle-free shirt without the hassle. Rhone's wrinkle release technology makes it so wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the shirt. It's that easy. Now that's awesome. I would like shirts that do that, honestly. With Gold Fusion anti-odor technology, you'll be smelling fresh and clean all day long. And on top of that, Rhone is 100% machine washable, so you can ditch the dry cleaner altogether. This sounds fantastic. Where can you get it? Well, head to rhone.com/lockedon and use promo code LOCKEDON to save 20% off your entire order. That's 20% off your entire order when you head to rhone.com/lockedon and use code LOCKEDON. It's time to find your corner office comfort. Thanks again for making Locked On Yankees your first listen every day. Subscribe now to Locked On Yankees on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts so you get notified when each episode premieres. So we're here again. Yankees, Astros, ALCS. I can admit this now because it's the day after, but there was a small part of me that was kind of like, well, if the Yankees lose to the Guardians, I won't have to deal with an Astros Yankees ALCS again. But now that we're here, am I happy we're here? Yes, I'm happy we're here. I'm happy the Yankees are still in the playoffs and that people don't have things to I shouldn't say that. Of course, people always have bad things to say about the Yankees, but they don't have anything to make fun of them for, unlike other teams who have been eliminated already. And I alluded to one of them. The Padres beating the Dodgers, the way that they beat the Dodgers was surprising. And coming into this series against the Astros, people keep mentioning how the Astros beat the Yankees 5 out of 7, and, they owned them. But it wasn't as if all of those games were blowouts. They were all pretty close. They weren't killing the Yankees in those games. So can the Yankees win the series? Sure, anyone can. Anyone can beat the Astros if they try. Atlanta beat them. The Nationals beat them. I still love that. The fact that the Nationals beat them and won every road game in a 7-game series. That's crazy. That's crazy. As I said, the Yankees just need to split in Houston. That's all you need to do is split. Now, the good thing is they've had some success against Justin Verlander in the playoffs. Actually, most teams have, except for the A's. There was a stat that was posted last week. Justin Verlander's ERA against the A's in the playoffs is under a 2. Against everyone else, it's over a 4. And now that I've said that, of course, he'll shut down the Yankees tonight. Most of them weren't drinking. Well, I shouldn't say that. They weren't drinking a lot. It wasn't that rowdy of a celebration last night. And I mentioned on the post-game show that Jameson Taillon made it known that he did not drink alcohol. He just had it poured all over him. There's a very funny video of Garrett Cole standing there drinking beer, kind of like a dorky guy at a party, just standing there and watching everything. And it's one of the funniest things I've ever seen. Garrett Cole is adorkable. That's all I have to say. Like I said, there's no lineup yet. I'm not expecting many changes, actually. I like the Torres, Judge, Rizzo combo. That works. Actually works really well. I like that they're putting Judge in the number 2 hole. He had the home run yesterday. His bats are looking a little better. I know some people were kind of down on him, but the Guardians have really good pitching. So I don't know what everyone was getting on about. It's the playoffs. You compete against good pitching. You need good pitching, good defense to win in the playoffs. And they're facing teams that have good pitching and good defense. And the Astros have it in spades. So, this is going to be a rough matchup. But I don't think the Astros are going to dispatch the Yankees as quickly as everyone's expecting them to. I don't know if I can personally handle another 6 or 7 game series between these two teams. My wish would be the Yankees to win in 5 and just get it over with, of course, because obviously I would want the Yankees to win, but you can't predict baseball. You don't know what's going to happen. I just know that this matchup is annoying a lot of people because it was expected. Before the playoffs started, a lot of people were picking the Yankees and the Astros to be playing against each other in the ALCS, and people were happy that the Phillies and the Padres were facing each other in the NLCS because it wasn't expected at all. And by the way, last night, the Phillies, Bryce Harper hits his home run. It's like 368, right? And then Kyle Schwarber hits his home run, and it's 488. It's like he was trying to hit it across the country back to Citizens Bank Park. Like, what? He hit the snot out of that ball. That was unbelievable. And that game was really quick, and it's the kind of game that you see in the playoffs. 2-0. Padres couldn't get anything going against Wheeler. Wheeler did a great job. And I will say, when I was watching parts of that game, Wheeler was shaking a little bit. It's kind of interesting to see something like that up close. I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but he had his hand set, and I could see, if you're not watching on YouTube, I apologize, but I'm kind of shaking my hand a bit. I don't know. I mean, it could have been nerves, but he pitched really well last night, and good for the Phillies, shocking the heck out of people. I would like for the Yankees to shock the heck out of people in the ALCS. That would be great. I would like for them to shock the hell out of people and put Peraza in the lineup tonight. They should. Put him at short, put Cabrera in left, Stanton DH, right? Bader in center. Judge, obviously, in right. There you go. There's the lineup. Don't know the order, though, but there would be the lineup. I am just double checking again just to make sure I didn't miss anything on the Yankees site. Because the game is 7:30 our time and 6:30 Houston time. And usually the lineups are posted around now. You know, during the season when I do these shows, I'm always angry because I'm in the middle of uploading the show and they put the lineup up. It's like, I just missed. So yeah, tonight should be an interesting matchup between Jameson, Taillon, and Justin Verlander, and we'll get into that in a moment. I don't want to get into the matchup too early here. I think it was funny this morning. A lot of people were wondering about the roster, and some people were a little impatient about the roster. Like, when's it coming out? When's it coming out? And it finally came out at, what time was it? Was it in the 11 o'clock hour? It was at some point this morning, right? And it was just so funny how people were overreacting to everything. Yankee fans overreacting? What? That never happens. Actually, I can look at the tweet right now. Oh, no, it came... Oh, that's right. It was like just before noon, I believe, when it came out. Yeah, it was like just over 3 hours ago. And Lindsey Crosby of MLB Prospects, the show Locked On MLB Prospects, was impatient because he wanted to see if Peraza was making the roster because he really wanted him to. And he did. So Lindsey was happy about that. He was happy that the Yankees were finally letting go of the let's not play the kids thing. Play the kids. The other teams are playing their kids. The Astros have a great shortstop. He's a kid. I think he's 25. That's a kid compared to me. And the Yankees should be doing the same thing, and they are. Thank goodness. This is a great thing for the Yankees, having their kids in or on the roster and possibly in the lineup. You like having that energy. You like having a mix of, I won't say grizzled veterans, but veterans and kids. You know, you don't just want old dudes on the team. You want to infuse life into the team. So in a moment, we'll talk about the matchup tonight between Jameson Taillon and Justin Verlander. But first, if you haven't tried Built Bar Puffs yet, you're depriving yourself of one of life's greatest joys. And guess what? There's a new flavor. Delicious, indulgent cookie dough covered in chocolate. That's right, Built's done it again. I'm going to introduce you to your new favorite. It has actually become my new favorite. It has replaced the mint brownie bar as my new favorite. Cookie dough chunk puffs. They're amazing. They have a light, chewy texture, real cookie dough chunks, and of course, they're covered in 100% chocolate. You get all the joys of eating cookie dough without the hassle of making it, and it's healthy for you. They're only 160 calories. They have 15 grams of protein, and if you get a box, I suggest you hoard them because everyone in your family is going to want to eat them. What's great about Built is all their bars are made with collagen protein, which your body absorbs more efficiently and provides tons of health benefits. So eat something that tastes good, and it's good for you. You really are going to love this. I mean, if you love cookie dough, this is one of the best things you'll ever eat. You can have it as a late night treat. You can use it as a snack for your workout, which is what I tend to do. And it's the perfect protein bar, and it tastes better than a candy bar. So go to Built.com, look up the cookie dough chunk puff, and use promo code LOCKEDON15 to get 15% off your order. Again, that's promo code LOCKEDON15 for 15% off your order at Built.com. So tonight, Justin Verlander against Jameson Taillon. Jameson Taillon's ERA is infinity because he did not record an out in his appearance. Oh, yeah. And I think someone the other day when he was supposed to start game 5 before it was rained out, they said he was the first pitcher or first guy to be starting a playoff game with an ERA of infinity since Carlos Rodon did it a few years back. I didn't even remember that happening, but I thought that was really funny. Yeah, Boone said that the stats that happened against him in game 2 shouldn't tell the story about Taillon, and I agree with that. That was just a weird game and it was weird decision-making by Boone also. I blame him for both game 2 and game 3. Those losses, just the bullpen decisions were mind-boggling. Taillon was 14-5 with a 3.91 ERA in 32 starts this season. Not terrible, not great, but he did have some really good moments, and he was looking really good until that Angel start. Or no, until after that Angel start. The Angel start where he had, he threw 8 innings. He kept them at bay. It was one of his best starts. And then he kind of fell off a cliff a little bit. Now, he faced Houston on June 23rd. He allowed 6 runs on 10 hits in 5 2/3 innings. He did not get a decision, and that was the game in which one of the games in which they walked off against Houston. Now, on the flip side, Justin Verlander has a 13.50 ERA this postseason. He gave up 6 runs on 10 hits and surrendered a walk against the Mariners on October 11th. That was also at home. It was his first playoff start since losing both starts in the 2019 World Series against the Nationals. In his last 5 postseason starts since Game 2 of the 2019 ALCS, the Yankees did pretty well then, yes. Verlander is 0-3 with a 5.97 ERA. His last playoff win came in Game 1 of the 2019 ALDS when he threw 7 scoreless innings against the Rays. Verlander is a puzzle. He's a puzzle. It's like, or an enigma wrapped in it. No, I'm kidding. He's an enigma. It's so hard to figure this guy out because in 8 career starts against the Yankees, he's 4-1 with a 2.75 ERA. He also threw a complete game win in Game 2 of 2017 ALCS, but let's not count the 2017 ALCS for anything. I know the Astros hitters were accused of cheating, but I don't take anything that those guys did on either side as like a gospel or whatever. He held New York to 1 run in 16 innings in that series, and he won the ALCS MVP. He went 18-4 with a 1.75 ERA in 28 starts in the regular season after coming back from Tommy John surgery at nearly 40 years old when people thought his career was going to be over 5-6 years ago. How is that possible? How is that possible? Did he make a deal with the devil? Possibly. All right, still no lineup. All Taillon needs to do is not give up as many runs as he gave up the last time to Houston. And all the Yankees need to do is watch how Verlander pitched to the Mariners and try to do the same thing that the Mariners did to him. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. It should be fine. No. So going into tonight, how is everyone feeling? I put a poll up on Locked On Yankees Twitter, and I'm going to actually check it right now to see how everyone was doing. People were very optimistic about last night. And honestly, I kind of was too. I was feeling as nervous as I was when I recorded yesterday's episode. If you watched yesterday's episode, I joked about how my heart rate was really high. It was. I was anxious. But I felt relaxed in the sense that I felt like they were going to win. They're at home. Cleveland inexplicably was not starting Shane Bieber, and they were starting Savale, and that was a disaster. Then Cleveland not challenging that call where Rizzo clearly did not make it to first before the runner. I don't know what they were doing. So, okay, the poll so far. There's 3 hours, 42 minutes left, so if you go to Twitter and see it. I said, Yankee fans, how are we feeling today? 69% optimistic, 31% pessimistic. I love Yankee fans. You guys are so much better than I am. I'm always pessimistic because I figure if you expect nothing and something happens, it's really good. But I've always lived my life that way since I was a kid, and teachers used to tell my parents about that. Why is Stacey so negative all the time? I don't know. I just have always been that way. But again, I feel like the Yankees can win this series. They're capable of winning this series. It's just a question of will they? Will they? Now, they can't win the series if they're only held to a 182 batting average, which I believe that's the number. Let me just double check this. But there was a stat posted last night about lowest ALDS batting averages, like teams that win. And I thought to myself, yikes. Lowest batting average in best of 5 series or longer and won the series. The 2016 ALCS, Cleveland batted 168. The 2019 Astros only batted 179 in the ALCS and still beat the Yankees. The 96 Braves in the NLDS batted 180. The 2017 Cubs hit 180 in the NLDS. And the 2022 Yankees, 182 average and beat Cleveland. Yeah, again, well, wait a minute. Like I just said, the 2019 Astros were able to beat the Yankees with a 179 batting average, and Aroldis Chapman isn't on the Yankees roster, so things could be looking up for the Yankees against the Astros this time. You never know. You never know. So tonight, Jameson, Taillon against Justin Verlander in Game 1 of the ALCS. There's no rest for anyone. We're just getting right into it. And game starts at 7:30, and I believe it is on TBS. No more Bob Costas, by the way. No more Bob Costas. It's going to be a bit of a different booth, including Jeff Francoeur, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll see how that goes. But no more Bob Costas babbling on the broadcast. So, depending on how things go, if the Yankees win tonight, you'll see me record a post-game show. If they don't, you won't. I'm just telling you right now. I'd rather post a show if it's positive. And if they do lose, obviously, I'll be posting tomorrow, and we will recap the game tomorrow and preview tomorrow's matchup. So that's how it will go. And I think for the rest of the series, even though we typically don't do shows on the weekends, it's Wednesday, Thursday in Houston, off day Friday, then Saturday, Sunday, Monday in New York. I think I'm going to be doing shows over the weekend. And yeah, so look out for that. I think I'm going to do that. We might as well. It's the playoffs. Let's get crazy. So that's it for this episode of Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Remember, you can listen to the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Odyssey, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can watch and subscribe to us on YouTube. We're closer and closer to 1,500. Again, hit the thumbs up, comment, and click on the bell so you know when our videos go up. So now that you've made us your first listen, how about making your second listen the Locked On MLB podcast? MLB expert Paul Francis Sullivan brings humor, passion, and a unique perspective on every team and the biggest stories from around the league. Follow the #1 daily league-wide podcast, Locked On MLB, on the Odyssey app, YouTube, or wherever you get your podcasts. One more thing, if you could be so kind, please rate the podcast and spread the word about this podcast to your fellow Yankee fans. We would really appreciate it. So, enjoy your Wednesday. Enjoy Game 1 of the ALCS. And I'll talk to you either tonight if they win or tomorrow if they lose.